And now, from the Sunnybrook Ballroom in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, it's the Bring 'em Out podcast with your hosts, Joel Richardson and Alan Hill.
Hey everybody, we're here at the Sunnybrook Ballroom inside the podcast studio with another episode of Bring 'em Out. I'm Alan Hill, here with Soul Joel himself, Joel Richardson, and we are flying solo, buddy, and it's book signing day.
Book signing day, but also yesterday we did, I did in studio with Bennington.
Oh, dude, let's roll.
Dude, it was another thing of signs, talking about signs, and I probably should have mentioned this on the air with Bennington. But just going up there.
Can I pause you one sec?
Yeah.
Just in case, because there are people out there that probably don't know Ron Bennington.
Yep.
Ron Bennington, satellite radio legend, old school terrestrial radio legend, also does stand-up, and absolute one of the coolest, funniest dudes on the planet.
Dude, and a great interviewer, and you could tell.
Top-notch. Better than Howard Stern. Howard Stern's reputation is not as good as his actual interviews. Bennington is the man when it comes to interviews.
And you could tell by the questions and what he asked and how he narrated the interview that he actually read the book. And that's why he didn't want to have me in for weeks. Well, not weeks, but a certain amount of time because he wanted to have time to read the book.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so right before my sister looked at me right before we left, Deanna, and goes, "You got books, right? And like merch?" I don't know. So I leave, come here, fill up bags, Soul Joel bags filled of hoodies, all sizes and T-shirts, but to the point where at the end, Bennington goes, "Take what you need. That's a lot." Like, like he basically said, "I'm probably not going to wear any of this." So, but it was one of those things where I was so grateful for his entire staff, his daughter, his booking person who books and who's also the producer, Deb and Chris and Earl, like everybody on his staff. I don't know how often they get stuff. So I just wanted to treat them all with kindness and
love that.
dude,
Love that.
Yeah, because it was amazing.
And his daughter does is this the show he does with his daughter?
Yeah. And it's the only show in the history of radio that's a father-daughter combo.
It's a really cool thing, man.
Really
and she's
cool
not
thing.
just like Ron Bennington's daughter. She brings a lot to the table.
No, 100%. But so that being said, it's 2 hours and 15 minutes, but it's raining all day to get there door to door, right?
Okay.
And Deanna's like, "We'll go now while I finish getting ready." And we come back, and we're hitting a little bit of traffic, rain, and of course, she's making up time.
And you're going to Manhattan?
Going to Manhattan,
Okay.
right? So she pulls a Joel where she's like, "Listen, we either got to stop for gas now, or we're going to have to get gas in Manhattan," because it's like, she had like 77 miles till empty.
Dicey.
And we're like Central Jersey.
The last thing you want to do is be looking for gas in Manhattan.
Which I've done.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. Not my first rodeo.
I imagine it's a long list of places you've been looking for gas.
Just a different day. Yeah. Probably all 5 boroughs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
in how many states?
Yeah. At least 3.
Yeah, right. That's awesome.
New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania.
Right.
But so dude, we're like, my plan was to get there at 12:30.
Mm-hmm.
We have time to check in. We got to get there at 1. Mm-hmm. That's what time we go on. And we get parking, and Deanna's like, "I want to go drop you off." I go, "No." I go, "The parking garage is right there." Mm-hmm. It's literally like a quarter mile. We walk over. So we drop off. I'm texting the producer like, "Hey, this, right when I texted that, hey, we're parking. We're gonna walk over." Mm-hmm. She goes, "Hey, ETA," and she goes, "Oh, good. Thanks for the update." We texted at the same exact time.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, like you and I.
You and I the other day.
Yeah.
It's so funny, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No homo. So we walk in Sirius XM, and standing there is the former PR publicist for Caroline's that runs the New York Comedy Festival,
okay.
Greg Charles, who I've been talking this whole time.
Yeah.
And he goes,
big figure in the New York comedy scene.
yeah, but just looks at me and was like, "This is crazy." And I go, "Greg, this is my sister Deanna," and he goes, "It's so nice to meet you. Is your brother not the best?" Dude, so I was like running late, thinking about this, and I'm like, this is
And you get greeted like that.
graded like that, and I'm like, everything's gonna be fine.
What? No, real quick. How do you go back with him? Like, did you know him when
Dude,
you were
so
running shit on Staten Island?
When I used to drive Boschetti to the Artie Lang show, Sirius, he used to bring whoever was at Caroline's
Okay.
to promote. and I just met a ton of people that he was just with, like whoever it was.
Okay.
And he would bring them through for the the publicity tour, like
Yes.
the media tour.
Yes.
And
That's cool.
and then I knew him. I just kept in touch with him over the
Yeah,
years.
so you had a relationship from that point forward.
Yep.
That's really cool.
So he then introduced me to the guy that runs Raw Dog Comedy, the channel who happened to be there taking pictures. This is, dude. Now, if I would have been on time and been early and walked in, who knows if all this happens in the lobby?
Right.
I look over, leaning over, checking in right next to me, like you and I are sitting right now.
Yeah.
I go, "Is that the great boy?" He goes, "What's up, man? Derek Gaines."
What?
And he goes, "Hey, aren't I at your place on Friday?" I go, "Next Friday." He goes, "I'll be there." I'm like, "I don't believe you."
Dude. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
What was he coming for another different show or what was
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's like,
amazing.
dude, it's like yeah.
And the time, like you said, is just ridiculous.
Yeah, and he knows Deanna, and it's just like,
Right.
dude, it's crazy. So yeah, and we go back, and Ron greets me himself, and he goes, "Oh, Greg, good to see you." And he would say, Greg's like, "Dude, we got to get you involved in the New York Comedy Festival." He's like, "Oh, that's great." He goes, "Well, you should be involved." He goes, Joel, and Greg's like, "I didn't even think about that. Joel, you should have your own night at the New York Comedy Festival." So stay tuned, buddy.
Whoa.
Dude, that's within 5 minutes of checking in.
Yep. Hopefully Ronan can insert a cartoon sound effect when I just did that thing. A
Yeah.
Boogity.
Yeah.
Because that's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
We did it in the summer of, or in the fall of 2021, but it just wasn't a great time slot. So we have done it before at New York Comedy Club, but we'll see what happens.
So
man.
you'll learn the lay of the land and you know what to do this time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's badass,
Dude,
That's
really
so
cool. Yeah.
How does that work? You'd promote like one night at a club during the
Exactly,
festival?
one
Okay.
show. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah,
Cool.
Soul Joel presents.
So you would have
Whatever.
like a normal like 3 comic show, or would it be some kind of
Or go do a showcase or whatever,
Right on.
Yeah, do like 6 comics.
20 minutes, whatever?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Well, finally, I'm gonna have an excuse to go to the big city and see a comedy show.
Dude, it was really cool, man. It was really cool, and and
It's amazing.
just being in there and having the interview, you get that first laugh, you feel good, but answering all the questions, and I'm like, I just don't want to stutter or and also you could be long-winded, so I wanted to make sure it was short, concise, brief,
find
to the
that balance.
point, and also a balance of stories that were in the book and not in the book.
Right.
And like after I started, he goes, "Dude, you're like a great businessman." I know, and I go, I've actually paid the comics before I paid my mortgage. He goes, "Maybe you're not as good of a businessman." I go, "By the way, Ron, that was not in the book." He goes, "I don't remember reading it." Yeah.
That's awesome. And Bennington is he's a formidable guy, man. Like he's a nice dude and he's cool as shit.
Yeah.
But he's a serious cat. You know it the second you walk into a room with him.
Oh yeah,
you know
dude.
what I mean?
He goes, "You're full of hope." He goes, "And energy." He goes, "I've been living like COVID has been in existence my entire career." He goes, I have no hope."
That's so
He goes, "And I hate Sirius XM." I'm like, "Well, it's great to be here."
Yeah. That's incredible, man. That is incredible. How long was your
It was like
appearance?
35 minutes, man. It
He
was
gave
like
you 35 minutes?
Yeah, dude.
There are
Wow.
that's amazing. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you, man.
Yeah, it was really cool, man. It was everything I hoped for, and hopefully I get to go up there again with the Raw Dog and get some more interviews, and it's just about giving more exposure to this place. And then today, it turns out that dropping off the merch worked out because I saw in my stories that SiriusXM Comedy shared a post, and I go, I don't know, in their stories, and I go, I don't know. It was Gail Bennington, Ron's daughter, with her Soul Joel hoodie on, saying, "You got to read Not Funny," and endorsing it.
Incredible.
So it's like that is the best endorsement, man.
Incredible.
To see that, and it's like that's what this is about. Like just creating more exposure for Gatsby's Pub, Sunnybrook Ballroom, and Soul Joel's, and our new home, and everything that we have going on here.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And effective maneuver. I mean, unbelievable. This is so cool. I just can't. It's amazing to see. I remember when in 6 months ago or whatever, you know, and you were talking about eventually I'll have to go and promote and we'll see what happens and blah blah blah. I I mean, I never expected 35 minutes with Ron Bennington. That's incredible.
No.
Incredible.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, it all certainly worked out. And then the book signings tonight. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I got my book and I'm getting it signed. Damn sure.
Yeah. And dude, again, the music is cooking here at this place.
Yeah, we are, man.
Yeah. We had Bandapalooza, over 400 people,
Dude.
and which I now know that it's not just Eric Koala's Uptown Band, it's also Benny Sims Groove Masters,
Yes.
and Reggie Brown's
Bunch of
Funk.
Yes.
And they signed the thing. They're on the wall now. And
Yeah.
it's like, yo,
Check it out in the hallway of where the old jazz bands are by the bathrooms. Check it out. There's
Yeah.
a wall of performers that are performing now in the modern era.
Yeah, exactly. And it's cool, man. Trying to to remember all that.
Yeah. I love it, man. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Listen, Bandapalooza, keep that in mind for next year whenever it comes again, because it's 3 heavy hitters, man. Like heavy hitters.
Now the first band always rotates, but it's always Benny Sims and the Groove Masters, and always Eric Koala.
These are legends, man. These are like big name legends in this entire region.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, these are dudes I've known about. Benny Sims since I was 18 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Like, that dude's like no joke.
And he shook my hand just like Bill Burr did one time. Mm-hmm. And I go, "Hey, man, I'm Joel." He goes, "I'm Benny."
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Reggie did the same thing, but yeah, he was like, "Yeah, it's like just like any other thing."
Dude,
It was awesome.
you gotta love that, man.
Dude, and his son came up, Benny Sims' son,
Yeah.
and was like, "Dude, I can't believe you have John Henton from Living Singles."
Get out.
And he was trying to get over there. I'm like, "Dude, your dad's a living legend," but he was trying to take pictures with the comics.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Talent's here, and dude, it was another thing where, so we got to talk about this. So what we've been cultivating finally happened last Friday, and it wasn't until Talent. Remember that night we were all talking, dude. So Talent
Oh, the
takes
hang.
yeah. Talent took his DJ Hot Sauce, and brought him into the Gatsby's.
Okay.
And I didn't know if it was still going to happen because I didn't know what was, Cat and 73 West were playing before that from 7 to
Sure.
10.
Yes.
And then I didn't know what was going to happen and what time the comedy show was going to end. But I told him, if you guys want to have an after party, the DJ's going to play. It's not going to cost any more money. They want to hang. So he goes, yeah. So Ronan, shout out to Ronan. He set up speakers, and because they didn't want to play in the house, and he plugged in and he played. Well, as he's playing, now he's playing hip hop, R&B, whatever it is. People are leaving from the Bandapalooza because it just ended, right?
Okay.
So they're walking through the hallways, and a lady with their walker, and she goes, "Hold on," and starts dancing. Dude,
so awesome.
and I mean, obviously, like, Talent told the story so much funnier.
so awesome,
But it
man.
was like, dude, like, it was enough to dance, hallway, party's over, leaving, party's still going on,
Wait a
next
second.
room, wait a second. Yeah, and started shaking it.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Inner walker.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, dude. I love that.
But
That's
Talent's
so
like
awesome.
down. He understands that we're trying to build something here.
That's a good man.
And he gets it.
Talent is a good man.
Yeah.
He's a smart guy. He's a funny guy. He's a professional all the way through and through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
Just gets it, man.
Yeah, man. For
it was
real.
really funny.
For real. That's
Yeah.
so cool, man. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that.
But and what's we talked about this too was just our staff here working hard. We every event that we do, we always change it up to where Jess and Scott thought about having a table just to order the food from Gatsby's inside the ballroom, just like we do with bingo. But they did it Friday night for Bandapalooza, and the bar was hopping, the food line was hopping, and everybody, because most of the people that come from Bandapalooza don't come to any other events.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Which is funny. They're brand new people. They just,
That's what grabbed him.
yeah, it was like the 12th to 13th year that they've done it. Wow. Bandapalooza. Yeah.
Wow.
And
So they have an established crowd,
follow.
obviously.
Yeah, because even he said, he goes, "Who's from Pottstown?" And they were like, "'Cause that's where Benny Sims, he's from here." But like, "Who's from Reading?" And the place went nuts.
Yeah.
So
That's Reading's where I got to know about Benny Sims.
yeah. So yeah. But that's where a lot of the people were from.
Dig
So it was like really cool, and just everybody working together. and always making our events here, better and better.
Beautiful, dude. It's such a cool thing to see, man.
Yeah.
Such a cool thing to see. It's really starting to cook, man. And, I was right there with you in the early struggles with the music. So it's so cool to see it cooking
Yeah.
now, man,
Yeah.
I think we both kind of knew we just had to suffer through it, but it sucked suffering.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, man. Yeah, trying to figure out which, what's going to work.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's really cool to see it start
And then
kicking.
Bartnick and Saturday night.
Oh, dude.
Well, actually, before we get to that,
Yeah.
that's what the shout out to Tim and the setup crew. They changed that night and the next day to drag brunch.
Oh, because it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon or something, right?
Yeah, 1
Early.
o'clock in the afternoon, 170 people.
Wow.
So we went from 425 people Friday night, 170 people the next day from 1 to 3. And just
amazing.
Yeah, and they had one of the finalists in RuPaul's Drag Race. So
wow.
in their world, another celebrity.
Right,
You know
big
what I
time.
mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Almost 500,000 followers on Instagram.
If you're on that RuPaul show.
Yeah,
killing
exactly.
it in that
Next
world.
level.
Yeah.
And and it was great. So that night, Joe Bartnick, who was just in, have you seen it? Old Dads.
No.
So Bill Burr has this movie on Netflix called Old Dads.
I've heard about this, but I haven't.
So Bursey's in it, and Bartnick's in it.
Out.
Yeah, so Bartnick
gotta
was
watch
here.
this.
Yeah, and then Band of Llamas opened up and did a set in Gatsby's before and after the show. And, Bartnick went on and did his thing with Rinaldi and Brian Plummer.
Dude, and Brian
Plum, sorry.
Brian, let me shout out Brian too, man, because that is one cool dude and one of my favorite guys that comes in and opens up for people.
Yeah.
He is a smart, funny man,
Yeah.
And I really enjoy him. What
Yeah.
I mean? He came right over and said hi when he walked in. It was good to see him. Bartnick, same. He came over, gave me a big hug. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bartnick is so funny, man. Like, he's just one of those natural funny dudes that also happens to be a great comedian. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I could literally just watch him walk around all night and laugh and just enjoy him.
Dude,
You
I don't know
what
if he has a bad day.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say anything bad about anyone.
I've never heard anything.
Nope.
Yeah.
Like what you're talking about. He's smiling. He's appreciative. He's grateful. Dude, he stayed overnight, then flew to Rome because his daughter, who's in college, is studying abroad in
you did
Rome,
mention
in
that. That's
Italy.
right.
Yeah, so he's now in Italy.
Dude, that's wild.
And it's just,
he was
was
talking
here.
about that on stage, I think.
He was here for a quick cup of coffee.
Incredible, dude. Incredible.
Yeah.
I've met that guy, I think, 3 times now.
Yeah.
On my way out, he saw I was getting ready to leave. He came over to me, gave me a big hug, and said, "Great to see you, man. You're fucking awesome." Blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, thank you. So cool. I think the world of you. But
Yeah.
it's
And the guy that knows Band of Llamas, that was his former roommate in Pittsburgh.
Grateful Fred.
Grateful Fred.
Shout out.
Yeah, who then you and him went to the same high school.
Which is crazy. So Bartnick was here 6-7 months ago, right?
But yeah, exactly 6 months ago.
Okay, so during that show, I'm sitting in my normal wing on the right side if you're looking at the stage, and I notice a guy sitting on the other wing who's wearing a Fish shirt, the band Fish. And there's not a whole lot of people running around in Fish shirts, okay?
Yep.
So I was like, I just made a mental note, talk to that guy after the show,
Yeah.
right? So I go up and say hi, and one thing leads to another, and he's like, I hear you help book bands here. He's like, have you ever heard of Band of Llamas? And I'm like, the Lippies? Yeah, I just talked to Dave this afternoon. And that's how I found out we went to the same high school together. He was class of 81. I was class of 92.
Right. and then the next week you're at the same concert.
Same Band of Llamas again.
Okay.
At another bar in the middle of Willow Street, which is it's kind of out near where like Lou's restaurant is, sort of.
Millersville.
Yeah, it's loosely 10 minutes from there, closer to there than where I live.
Okay.
So yeah, I got it was like I never met Fred in his life. I knew his sister. His sister was 2 classes ahead of me at Township. Betsy.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, but I never met Fred. And now all of a sudden we're thick as thieves. You know what I mean? Like, and he's like just the coolest, nicest guy.
Nicest guy, dude.
Dances talk about no bad energy. That dude is just dancing around. He's twirling and doing his thing. He grabbed me and started spinning me around at one point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was priceless.
Dude, he's the first guy to call me a legend. Like I'm like, all right. I was like, take it easy, man. He goes, dude, people are gonna be talking about you long after you're dead.
Dude, that's awesome.
And I go, please. I know whether it's true or not. I go, it's hard to
it's hard to register that.
even
yeah.
register. And I'm like, thank you, man. But let's
tone it down maybe a little.
let's keep the business afloat first.
Tell other people that. Don't tell me that.
Yeah.
But that's awesome of Fred, man.
Yeah.
And nice that you didn't have to do it to yourself like Voss.
Living legend, Soul
Love you,
Joel.
Rich. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That'll get me a ringing endorsement as co-host.
Oh, dude.
I love Voss so
Yeah,
much,
yeah.
man.
Dude,
what did he say about me when he said something about like?
Oh, dude. He goes, oh, it's good to see Father Time came out.
I love him. Man.
Yeah. Well, he said, he goes, when we were sitting there, and he goes, you're interviewing audience members on your podcast. We had Lou.
It was Lou. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And then he goes, and who's the guy in the Eagles jersey? I go, my co-host. He goes, ugh. He goes, how more unlistenable can your podcast get? Yeah.
I love it.
But Bennington, to go back to that, goes, hey, I was just talking to Colin Quinn about your book. He goes, oh, I opened a comedy club. The end. I mean, because he writes his own books, and it's history, and it's, you know, I'm sure.
Colin.
Yeah, and I go, well, Voss says, he goes, oh, please. I said, well, to quote Rich, he goes, my wife read a book. I haven't read that, so there's a 0% chance I'm reading yours.
Oh, that's so funny.
He goes, and Bennington goes, stand corrected. Voss can't read. That's why he's not reading yours.
Bennington.
Without missing a beat, dude.
He is a quick SOB, man. Like that guy. He didn't. I think from what I understand, Bennington dabbled in stand up like 20, 25 years ago. Well, a little bit. I don't know the extent of it. Honestly.
Yeah, but he still does. I mean, I think
but then he came back,
Oh.
like because then they did that Creeps with Kids tour. And
Yeah.
But he started a while before that. Started getting up regularly.
Okay.
And he is. Have you ever seen him do stand up?
No.
I saw the Creeps with Kids tour, man, and he is a beast. Like he's very different. It's very storytelling. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, dude, because how many hours on the radio? It's no different except your audience is in front of you.
He talks by himself or when he had
Yeah.
Fez or whoever, you know what I mean, for hours a day for years. And it shows. Every little bit of that shows on stage, man. Like
Yeah.
he's mesmerizing on stage. He's really,
Oh, yeah.
really something else. Yeah, yeah. So it doesn't surprise me at all that he was that quick on to rip on Voss.
No,
That's so
100%,
awesome.
dude. Yeah.
So awesome, man.
Yeah.
Oh, and before we get off of the Bandalamas Barknick night,
Yeah.
you were talking about the woman that came in with a walker.
Yes.
And started shaking him, busting her
Yeah,
butt,
yeah, yeah.
busting a move. So same thing happened. Similar thing anyway. I was standing. I was, I'm. It was post comedy show.
Yeah.
Bandalamas are back playing again in
Okay.
Gatsby's, and I was standing there with Grateful Fred and Leah, Dave Lippy's wife, and they're the two that are always dancing,
Yeah.
right? And I'm just standing there grooving out, listening, and my buddy Brian was there. Shout out to Brian, love you, man. And my mom comes walking through that doorway into Gatsby's. She sees Leah and Fred dancing. She starts going. Leah starts laughing and loving it and goes up and starts dancing back at her like that. And it turned into a dance-off between her and Leah. It was great. Fred's having a blast. He starts trying to twirl my mom. It was great. My mom's 74, I think.
Yeah. So it became a whole thing.
It became a whole thing, man. You know, this chain reaction of awesomeness, you know?
Oh, dude, that's cool, man. It's just good vibes always.
I love it, dude. Love it.
Yeah.
That's what this Sunnybrook band. Good Vibe Central.
So DJ Bob's down in Oregon. He lost his gallbladder.
Oh, down in Oregon. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, he's down in Oregon.
Okay.
Down in Major Oregon.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
And I talked about him with him at length.
I've seen the scar.
Yeah, and yeah, that was apparently what he did his stand-up set.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, and he goes, "Well, women are allowed to show." I go, "That's different.
Yeah, right. Totally. Man.
That is different. That's called burlesque
Yes.
and flashing.
Yes.
No one needs to flash that."
Yeah, man.
So I asked him because I don't know what a gallbladder does. He goes, "It takes fat out of your the diet out of what you absorb. It absorbs all the fat that you're taking." My gallbladder has every right to quit.
I'm surprised our gallbladders aren't popping out of us right now.
Yeah. Quitting. Tap out.
I've been tapping for years.
Yes. My gallbladder is almost 44, and it should be. It's lived 88 years. Double time. Overtime.
There's a gravitational pull around my gallbladder.
So Bob tells me, he goes, I goes, now is this affecting your other organs? He's like, I don't know. I'll let you know. And I said, well, what do you suggest? He goes, just drink more water. And I said, well, for years I thought it was diet and exercise, but if I just drink more water. Is that just
Dude, I think a combination of those things is probably the ideal.
yeah.
But yes, water is good. Water is very good.
He's worried about my stress levels. I'm like, it's hilarious that he's worried about me.
Right. Oh, well, thank goodness he started playing, what's the Frank song? My Way?
My Way.
When You Ask, because
Yeah.
that helps with the stress levels.
I just got to get through the 73rd minute of this house music.
Sorry, I just started a 9-minute long song. It's
Yeah.
a minute in. Give me 8 minutes.
Then we'll get right back to you.
Oh, I love it. Dude, in that worm clip, if you haven't seen the Bob worming from our latest clip,
Yeah.
or the full episode, of course, please check it out, because
Yeah.
Joel's changing light bulbs, dance style.
Yeah.
Bob's worming. It's one of my favorite clips ever.
Spontaneous. Yeah.
And Bob didn't he just get out of the hospital like before?
Yes.
Like, he was literally in the hospital like within a week of that episode or something,
Yeah.
I think.
And then back in.
yeah, and then back in.
Yeah.
So that's when the gallbladder came out, was the second time, right?
Yeah. So what happened was I felt bad. Okay. And I don't know why we didn't talk about this on the pod with him.
Okay.
Is because I said I felt terrible, man. I said, Bob, the week before, we were coming home from New Jersey, and we are going to stop to see the DJ that he loved and hear the music, grab a drink, and then grab at Gino's, grab a cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Well, I go, dude, I don't have it in me to do both. He goes, cheesesteak it is. And I'm like, great, because I'm not a big drinker, man. I'm like, I'm not going to, yeah, exactly. So we go right to the cheesesteak, and Bob ends up at the hospital. I go, Bob. And I go, it was the acidic. He goes, it could have either been drinking or the cheesesteaks. I go, well, we had cheesesteak last night, and you ordered 2. He goes, well, no. He goes, the second one is in my fridge if you want to have it. I go, no, I'm not going to eat it. Like, that got you in the hospital. I'm not going to eat it.
Yeah.
He gets out of the hospital, eats it, right back in.
Oh, are you serious? Well, and let's not jump over the fact that while we were recording that podcast that he did the worm on, he's pounding limoncello,
Yeah.
which is also on the no-fly list.
Yes. Well, he literally, he's telling me as he's ingesting, he goes, this is the first test.
I think he wasn't supposed to drink coffee either, and he drank a bunch of coffee on the way over, if I remember right. But one of my favorite things about that podcast, and it's one of my favorite, is finding out what a wild boy Bob was amongst the physics heads.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You know, the 5.5-year graduation plan, the partying, I just love it, dude. Love it.
He's in a bit of an outlier.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. Bob's
Yeah.
like the rebel of the physics
Graduated
man.
from Penn, but he took his time.
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, Bob, you're the best.
Yeah. Dude, and there was another story that I was trying to remember. I told Deanna on the way back from New York yesterday, and she had never heard it. And I still have to hear what I think it was a band story that you wanted to tell, and it was either a band story or an Uber story, or it's going back and forth. It was something that you.
Well, I'll say this real quick, and maybe it'll jog my memory, and if you remember yours, just cut me off. Snap Squatch, my band, is back and badder than ever. So if you live anywhere near Lancaster,
Yeah.
I'll be there at McCleary's in Marietta on May 11th, my birthday.
Yeah.
And we're opening up for the Bandalamas that we just talked about.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's perfect for us because we're going to combine forces. They have a smaller room and a bigger room at Cleary's. If we combine forces, we can do the bigger room. And we get to just do an hour instead of carrying a whole show ourselves coming off of a 2-year hiatus.
So you're each doing an hour, or the
No,
band?
we're going to do an hour. They're going to do 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's total 3 hours.
Total 3.
Three.
Yep.
Okay.
It'll be a lot of fun. Bandalamas are amazing. If you haven't seen them yet, it's a real honor for me to be opening up for them. I love those guys. The Lippies are my boys, and I've been watching them since high school before I ever even picked up a guitar, practicing in buddies' basements. So it's a real special thing for me. Like when you allowed me to open up for Rusted Root, the Rusted Root duo.
I didn't realize. So John's older than you too?
Yeah.
Oh, they're both older than you.
Yep.
Okay.
John is Dave's older brother. So John is the oldest.
Oh.
Yeah, John is maybe 4 years older. He was a senior when I was a freshman.
Okay.
Dave was a junior when I was a freshman.
Oh, okay. So they're not
They're
like.
side by side.
Yeah, but they're not that much older.
They're almost
than you.
Irish twins.
Okay. But also not that much older than you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're, I'll be 50 on May 11th. They're probably 52 and 53, something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm ecstatic about it because first of all, I'm excited to be back. I'm excited for our band to be back.
It's been like 2 years since you played?
Dude, our last show was at McCleary's about 3 weeks before the shutdown. It was like February of 2020.
Oh, but then
February 20, not the shutdown. I'm sorry, wrong time frame. It was February or January of 2022. December, January, right in there. Because I stopped teaching. My last lesson that I taught was the last week of January 2022.
Yeah, and Rusted Root was like 3 months before that.
Yes.
And
that was a cool full circle thing, much like me getting open up for the Lippies.
Because now you're going back and performing at the same venue as your last gig.
Yes.
From McCleary.
Exactly.
But the full moment about...
Yeah, the full circle thing with them was when I met two of the guys in Snap Squatch, okay? We were in a band called Mostly Harmless in the 90s, and I didn't know any of those guys before we started that band. Okay. And within a week or two of starting playing with those, just having jam sessions in the basement before we were even really a band, they're like, hey, the Allman Brothers are playing at the Allentown Fairgrounds. You want to go?
Yeah.
And I love the Allman Brothers. One of the reasons I play guitar is the Allman Brothers. And so I was like, heck yeah, I'm in. We get there. We didn't even know it. Guess who opened up? Rusted Root. So in 1995, I believe it was, at the Allentown Fairgrounds, I saw Rusted Root open up for the Allman Brothers. And then in 2021, we get to open up for Rusted Root at a Soul Joel event.
Wow.
I got to tell that to Michael Gablicki and Dirk Miller, it was
Yeah.
And they like, I think a lot of times it's like, yeah, whatever, dude. But they actually really appreciated that.
No, dude. Both of them, very genuine dudes.
Super. I mean, two of the coolest people I've ever met.
They're the ones
in the
that
business.
They reached out to me about performing at Soul Joel's.
We got to talk to them about coming back. That's something we should talk about off air. But those guys are cool as shit. We've talked about this before a little bit. I don't know how much on the pod, but it's kind of an interesting subject to me. I've been to hundreds, maybe thousands of concerts. All right, the comedy shows have now probably exceeded that. Even, you know what I mean? I never met anybody in any band that I ever went to see, except if they were on a low enough level to be selling their own merch after the show.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I start coming to comedy shows. I can meet almost anybody I want. You know what I mean? Like, there's exceptions, Dices and Brewers. Some of them don't like to do that. But 75% of the dudes and women that roll through here, you can go shake their hand after the show and get a picture with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to pay $1,000 to do that to go see, if you want to go do it with Aerosmith or any band that you've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Because you got to do a gold member VIP BS crap. You know what I mean? And it's one of the things about comedy that is beautiful.
Well, you know what's funny, man, is we actually, and this happened today, a lady had reached out about food, drink for Soul Cruisers, which now once you listen to this, it's going to be in the past.
Mm-hmm. And
I said, actually, now you can order food from our restaurant right in the ballroom.
Mm-hmm.
Then that was last week. Today, she goes, I'm curious, why are the tickets so high? And I'm like, it's $20.
Yeah.
Right? And it's 11-piece band.
Right.
And I don't ever determine the price. The price is based on the talent.
Dude, and you're the most reasonable ticket in town all the time.
Right.
All the time.
Right. And so she said, well, the service fee is $5, which the service fee on a $20 ticket she must be VIP or something like that because it's $2. So maybe 2 tickets. But I said, if you want, that's the credit card processing fee. And compared to Ticketmaster, that's like $10
for real
versus $2
for real.
Yeah, and so you're talking about a $30-some ticket, and you're talking about $22.
I've been bitching about Ticketmaster my whole life.
Yeah,
they are the bane of my existence.
Right.
And yours is incredibly fair. It's the most fair you can. You can't do that. You can't process that stuff online without some kind of service fee. And that's the lowest you're ever going to see.
Oh, the lowest you're ever going to see. And she goes, well, I see them all over the place, and I've never paid $20. So I go the next time they're at Wonder Bar down at Asbury Park, $20. And I said, we're the same. And I go, well, I go, listen, and I said exactly what I just told you. I said, the talent determines the price.
Yep.
Whatever I'm paying them, I have to charge the tickets to cover my costs.
Absolutely.
To stay in business.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have them perform here at a loss.
Right.
And it's simple business 101.
Yeah.
And I said, and you've also never seen them perform in the biggest ballroom east of the Mississippi.
Have you ever seen them perform where Duke Ellington performed?
Yeah, it's going to be 14,000 square feet, and it's going to be packed. We have over 300 tickets sold.
Yeah.
And
So-
it's going to be a big event.
Obviously, not many people are objecting to the price.
Yeah, right, exactly. And I said, but if you want, you can come here and pay cash and avoid all the
Avoid the
fees.
service fees, absolutely.
Yeah, that's not something I want to implement.
Odds are pretty good. We're not going to sell 1,200 tickets so that you'll be able to get it night of.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, dude.
People will find stuff to bitch about, man.
Always.
You know what I mean? Like, it's, and you can't, that minute little fraction, you can't please. You know what I mean?
Right. It is what it is.
Either suck it up and come or, it's cool.
Yeah. Or don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I can't remember that story.
I know, man. There was something, we both had stories and
Right out the.
yeah. Maybe I should tell a story about smoking weed, since maybe that's where my story went.
Well. Yeah, I do it. I should have literally texted myself, because I don't know what good would it be, because it's on my phone. But about, and Deanna was dying, and she goes, "That's really funny."
Can you text her right now?
No, I mean my phone's right there.
Here.
Oh no. She's not gonna remember. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up for you, but
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah.
I bet there's something from Puerto Rico we never talked about. There's got to be. How about we had my medical marijuana experience, which was fun. I was so nervous I wasn't going to be able to, because I can live without weed. It's not a problem. I just took a month and a half off back in the fall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The problem is, after traveling, I was going to I was going to pay for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it was going to be a rough couple nights until I adapted. You know
I can't believe it's been 3 months since we went.
Dude,
since we've been back.
Somehow it feels like yesterday and an eternity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, I know.
All traces of a tan are long gone. I only had a mild red anyway.
Yeah.
But dude, so I was looking into okay, I'm not the guy that wants to take weed on an airplane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a couple days out, I was like, maybe I better look into what happens if I take weed on an airplane. Because I was not looking forward to that first day or two of adjusting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I start looking into it, and then I find that
it's a federal offense.
it's a federal offense. Not gonna mess with it. I'm not that guy. I could never be a drug mule. You know what I mean? I don't have the stones for it, man. I get all sweaty and nervous. I can't think about anything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're already wearing an Eagles jersey.
I stand out enough, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I meant because you sweat already.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, you already have a sweating problem.
I'm already doing the sweaty thing.
Yeah.
And plus I stand out. You know what I mean? So if somebody's like, hey, who's popping out in this line?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the guy here or there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just was like, no, I'm not going to do it. But as I was researching that, all of a sudden it popped up, medical marijuana card, reciprocity. And PA has it with Puerto Rico. So I didn't have to worry about being a drug mule at all. All I had to do is go to the first dispensary we found, pay a $50 thing, and I could get whatever I want.
That's it.
That's it, man. And you took me there. We sat there for maybe half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was good to go the whole time we were there.
Yeah.
So it was a beautiful thing, man. And
Oh, dude.
then I bought way too much and left half of it in Puerto Rico.
Yeah. Problem solved. Yeah. Boom, man. Another episode of Bring 'em Out.